Hi, George here. Have you ever been in a situation where you have several clips you want to use in a video project, but they're in different resolutions and they have different problems? This one has a letterbox lines, top and bottom, things like that. There is a good solution for that, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at these different clips. This one here, you can see it's fairly low resolution, rather out of focus. I'm going to right-click on this clip, look at the properties in here. We can see that this one is at image size of 640 by 360, fairly small for a video size. Let's look at our next clip right here, 480 by 270, so it's even smaller. And you can see how kind of fuzzy and out of focus this one is. Let's go to our next clip, much sharper. See if you compare these two clips. There you go, and here you go. This is obviously a much sharper image. Let's right-click on this one and properties. This is at 640 by 360, similar to the first clip. Let's come down to our next one down here. Right-click on this and properties. This one's at 1280 by 720, a lot better. And then our last one right down here, right-click and properties. This is 1920 by 1080. This is the 1080p size, which is very common on YouTube right here. Everything else is a lower resolution. So how do we get the rest of these images up to the matching resolution for this image? Well, a couple of things you could do. One is to bring each clip in as its own project and then resize that inside here, inside of Premiere Elements. It's basically just going to upsize that or upscale that and then produce that and then bring those back in to a new project, and you'll then have them at the same size, but they're just going to be enlarged. They're not going to be increased in resolution to match your new resolution. That's going to be a real problem on clips like this one here, where it's really fairly soft. We don't want to just enlarge this. We also want to fix the resolution, increase the resolution. Now, there is a good solution for that, and that is using the sponsor for today's video, and that's Aiarty Video Enhancer. We're taking these clips over there and bringing these all up to the same matching resolution. I'll be demonstrating this part of the Video Enhancer program. If you want to see my full review on this, I'll put a link for that in the description. And I've also included a couple of links for the Aiarty Video Enhancer at the top of the description as well. Okay, switch over there to the Aiarty Video Enhancer and look at that part of the project. Okay, here we are. First thing is to bring in your video clip or clips. Click on this plus sign and then navigate to the folder that contains your clips. I have it already set up right here. Now this last clip here, this is the one that is at 1080p. We'll leave that one alone, but I want these four and I want to up-res these up to 1080p. Let's choose open, bring all those clips in. Here we go. This way we can work on one clip at a time. Down here, we'll start off with this one clip. Now we have a playhead here. You can scroll through here and take a look at this. And our first step is to do what's called an inference. This is simply a single frame preview where we can check our image quality. So I'm going to go through here and just find a good representative frame, kind of like that one right there. That's good. And over here, right-hand side, there's a lot of things you can do in here, but all we care in this instance is upscaling. And I want to upscale this up to 1080p right there. Now we can take care of these letterbox bars, top and bottom, at the same time. Come down here where it says edit, click on this, opens up the edit section, click on adjust crop, come in here and crop into the image just enough to lose those bars in there. And then we can move this around if you want. I'm just going to center that. Just make sure we have original selected in here. That way our crop ratio matches the 1920 by 1080. And notice now if I pull this out, it's going to stay in the same ratio. That's what you want. We don't want to be losing our ratio on this. Okay, let's just recenter that. And that looks pretty good. We'll use this section of the video. And this will then become our 1920 by 1080 since that's what our output is going to be. And we'll apply that crop. There we go. And back out just a touch. Now I have all that set. We can go ahead and click on preview and let it perform the inference and to see how it looks in the first frame. Now this is using AI, so it's not only going to be up-resing this to the 1080p, it's also going to be increasing the sharpness, giving us more detail, a lot more that we want to have happen in here, which you can't do over in Premiere Elements. Okay, click on preview and let this run. Now the speed that this runs at will depend entirely on the speed of your computer and your video card. This program runs on your computer. It's not going up online and running on an online server, so it's all being done by your computer. And here we go, there's the finished inference. And it's over here, right-hand side, looks nice. It's been cleaned up. Just zoom in a bit. You can see how much nicer this looks in here. It's really cleaned up that really messy video over there. And I think this will work out just fine for us. Now, at this point, I could come out and export this as just this one clip, but I want to do a batch export of all 4 clips, so I'm going to click on Add Task. There we go. We can then move on to our next clip right here. Now this clip has some blank screen at the beginning. It has a fade in right here, and there's a fade out at the end. So what I want to do is I want to bring in my beginning section here till we're into our fade in, and it's pulled in the fade out right there, so we're in the fade out. Okay, so that gets rid of the fade in and fade out. We want to have the upscaling in here set at 1080p. I'm using the Mode Detail AI model, so I want to increase my quality in here. I want to increase the amount of detail as well, so that's good. Now, same problem on this one as before. We have these black bars top and bottom. That's the letterbox bit happening in there. We can take care of that. Again, down here, click on Edit. Want to adjust the crop. Set our crop ratio to original so it matches that 1920 by 1080. And then let's pull our sides in here. There we go, pull the corners in like that. Make sure we're inside, and again, I'll keep this basically centered and apply that crop. There we go. And let's go ahead and do the inference for this one. There we go. Much, much nicer looking. Notice how clean it looks up around here. Look around his leg down here, real out of focus and fuzzy. That's nicely cleaned up over here, so that has taken care of all of that. Again, let's just add the task. Now, if I wanted to, I could come in and adjust color on this, but I don't know what that should be until I get everything over into Premiere Elements and I put the clips side by side. At that point, I may use the color adjusting tools over in Premiere Elements to kind of tweak the colors over there, but that really has to be done after I have all the clips arranged inside of the Premiere Elements editor. Okay, let's take a look at our next clip in here. And this looks pretty good. The sharpness looks pretty nice in here. But again, we need to adjust this. If you look up here, upper left-hand corner, you can see this is a 640 by 360. And we want to upscale this to 1080p again. So I don't need to be doing any editing on this one. We're not doing a fade in or fade out, so there's no adjustment on the timeline. Let's go ahead and do our preview on this, do the inference. And again, this is previewing that single frame that we're looking at on the right-hand side. And let's add task. There we go. Let's go to our last one down here. Let's just make sure that we're set for the correct upscale, which is the 1080p. Let's do the preview to get the inference set up. There we go. Looks good. Nicely cleaned up. It's just a little bit sharper, but that's perfect. And we'll go ahead and add this task in. Okay, now we have all these tasks in here. I can bring up this section like that. Just grab that line right here. You can expand that. And here's all of the different clips in our batch. If you left this down here, we could come in and use the scroll bar right here and see the different clips this way. So either way, but I'll just stretch this up so you can see it here in the video. Now I want to export this out, batch export. Let's go over here to export settings. You can double check this format, and I'll leave this at the defaults, and I want to export into the original folder. That's correct. It's going to rename those for us, so I know which ones have been resized. And then choose batch export. It's going to go through and export these one at a time. And I'll let this export finish off screen. And at that point, we'll pick this video back up again, back over inside of Premiere Elements. Okay, here we are back in Premiere Elements, and I brought in the enhanced clips. This is one of the original clips right here. And then just after this, here's the enhanced version of that. Let me just play just a few seconds of this. So here's the original. We have these letterbox bars in here. And then here's the enhanced version. Much, much nicer, much cleaner, better focus, and so forth. So vast improvement. Let's do a quick check of our image size here. I'll right-click on the original properties. That's at 640 by 360. Okay, let's check the enhanced version in here, and properties is at 1920 by 1080. So it's been properly upscaled to our new setting. And again, here's the original clip, letterbox bars, top and bottom. And then coming up real fast here, we have the improved and enhanced version. Much, much nicer. So once we have those, we can just go ahead and just remove the old ones. Let's take those out of there. There we go. And then I'll just bring everything else over here to the left and get the rest of our clips right down here. And now everything is the same size, the same resolution. It's been cleaned up and tightened up. We can now go back in here and do whatever editing we want to do in here. And we know that we're working from matching video clips, and that makes all the difference in a video project. So you're not going to have any jarring change in here on the resolution, for instance. So when we go from this clip to this clip, they look the same. If you look in the water up here and the water back up in here, you don't see any difference in the quality of the water. We're not seeing any noise in here or anything like that. And same thing down towards the end. The last clip here was at the final resolution anyway. And the clip before now matches that exactly. So these all work beautifully together. And this can solve a lot of problems on your final edit. But the most important one is that everything is now at the same resolution, making for a much cleaner video production. Let's go ahead and take this out to the full export. That's up here at Export and Share, upper right-hand corner. Let's double check our format. H.264 is correct. Let's look at our preset right here. And I'm going to make sure that we are going to our 1080p. There we go. I want high quality on that. That's fine. And click Export. And this will then take this out to the finished video. And depending upon how long your video is, of course, it will take a little while to do this. This video clip is not that long, only about 48 seconds total. It will take this just a couple of minutes to do that. And I'll just fast forward until we get to that point. And there we go. As you saw, we didn't have any problems with exporting this enhanced video. And again, if you want to find out more about the Aiarty Video Enhancer, I have links for that at the top of the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. And I'll see you next time.